Okay, yes, I want to talk about COVID, but I don't want to tell you what to do or what to think. I just want to zoom all the way out. I want to chat with you about how we're doing as a society when it comes to thinking and communicating and debating about this awful sickness. I don't think we're doing so hot. I think that if we don't peel back the layers and analyze our differences at the worldview level, we're just going to continue barking at each other, hating each other, and we're not going to make any progress. So, one problem I'm seeing in our current civil life is the misuse of science. I think it's been pretty obvious. We're using it as a cudgel, as a weapon to silence people. And you know what I mean. It's particularly those who are mask skeptical and vaccine hesitant that are denigrated as anti-science, treated like the unwanted guest who crapped in the pool at the pool party. Sorry. And we hear it all the time. This shouldn't be a political issue. This should be about the science. But here's the curious thing about that. Why is it that those who are skeptical and hesitant, why are they the anti-science crowd? I thought that skepticism and doubt were the lifeblood of science. Isn't it closed-mindedness and hubristic certainty that are anti-science characteristics? Now, I mean, you're right. Many, maybe even most of the anti-maskers are also closed-minded and stubborn. I see that too. So it seems then that this notion of anti-science actually exists on a spectrum. And we shouldn't be quick to call someone anti-science because we may be somewhere in that spectrum. At one extreme, you have complete skepticism, so that you end up not listening to anyone's argument. But on the other extreme, you have absolute certainty and hubris, so that you don't end up listening to anyone's argument. Obviously, science lives somewhere in the middle, maybe even off center a little bit towards a healthy skepticism. Am I wrong? There was a research paper from Carnegie Mellon. You may have heard something about it. And it said that people who have PhDs are actually the most vaccine hesitant group out of all education levels. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, it's still the majority and consensus opinion, even among people with PhDs, that masks and vaccines are all that in a bag of Doritos. I mean, that's the consensus view. I'm just pointing out that the stereotype of the anti-masker as this NASCAR-watching, wife-beating, Trump-voting high school dropout is inaccurate, and it's way out of line. I mean, that guy's an anti-masker too, God love him. So that's good. Except for the wife beating, that would be bad. But again, dumb stereotypes. The problem, y'all, is that actual doctors who dare say something against the majority are being banned from social media. On social media, you can't easily speak freely against the consensus views. I mean, because you might dissuade someone, I guess, from being vaccinated or something like that. I guess that's what they're going for. But is that how we want to do things? The other thing we're seeing is pharmacies who refuse to give out prescriptions written from doctors who believe they're doing the best thing for the particular health needs of their particular patient. And I'm talking about preventative and therapeutic treatments that some doctors think are worth it for their patients. Some pharmacies refuse to give out these prescriptions because contrarians are demonized. This is not the way we used to do things, y'all. And this is acting from the hubristic side of the anti-science spectrum. I'm just saying, don't silence or ridicule the contrarians. Why? Because their feelings are going to be hurt? No, not because of that. Because this is how you actually make progress in science. I mean, what was Copernicus a part of the scientific consensus at the time? What about Galileo? I mean, was he a part of the good old boys at the time? Okay. Einstein, was he just towing the party line? And you know what we can say about Einstein? If it hadn't been for Max Planck, Mr. Scientific Establishment, okay, look this up with Max Planck and Einstein. If it hadn't been for Max Planck, who took an early interest in Einstein's crazy work, and it was crazy outside of the lines work, okay, Einstein might well have gone by the wayside. And no, I'm not saying that Mr. Frontline America Doctor, or whatever they're called, okay? I'm not saying that person's the next Einstein. I'm just saying, what if? Okay. Are we sure we want to totalitarian this thing out? Anyway, what am I ranting about? What do I want? I just want free speech. I just want open conversations without put downs and ridicule. I want people to be treated like adults. I don't think we need social media to be our nanny. Okay? And I don't think that bannings and cancellations and mandates would even help in the first place. But I do know that that's taking a huge blow, and it is taking a huge blow to the foundations of our civilization. The truth is, our civil society is sick right now, and not just with COVID. We could actually do with a healthy dose of proper science, the kind that encourages questions and debate and always has a seat at the table for the contrarian of goodwill. Well, guys, we have more coming up on this subject. We also have our top 5 TV shows. We've got something we hate, something we like. I'm Jim Horan. My brother Sal is here with me. We're the Worldview Bros. Sally boy, here we are, sir.
Hey man, how you doing?
Doing good. I'm glad. I know it's been a while since we've revamped this thing, but I mean, I'm pumped, ready to go.
Dude, it's good to be here in a new studio and everything. It's looking great in here, man. I'm excited about it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
I mean, not much. I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row. Just new routine at home, and it's difficult, and I'm not teaching anymore, so yeah. That's and that obviously, but right. Just kind of trying to get into new normal, I guess, for myself. Yeah. Yeah. What about you? Yeah.
Dude, I've just been complaining because you know how you always have this knee pain, and I was like, oh, knee pain, whatever, dude. I had no idea what knee pain was about. Seriously, just like today, like I walked a Wrangler. Yeah. The dog, and I keep like shaking it out, like, oh, if I just shake it, it's gonna be better. But no, this is like just legit, just pain. Ice.
Yeah, just ice. Just icing and working out the rest of your legs.
Well, this is very exciting. So I'm sure everybody wants to hear
about our knee pain,
our exciting knee pain. This is great.
Anyways, okay, so I want to ask you a question in response to the opening, in response to the monologue, and yeah. And my question is, when we're talking about in light of sticking and wanting to get back to what true science is, right? And questioning and being okay with questioning things, and being a contrarian, like you say. What would you say is the difference? Like, I feel like is there a line between being a contrarian and then being a skeptic, where you're questioning everything? Question the fact that this is blue. My jeans are blue, or a question that and question this and that, and kind of come across as a skeptic.
No, I'm glad you bring that up. I mean, because the point that I'm trying to make is not so much like to seek contrarianism as an end in itself. Yes. I think actually that can be a real negative thing that you seek to be contrarian. So right. It's not really what I'm trying to say with this. Like, really, the point of it is what actually is science. And the reality is that science requires a lot of skepticism, requires a lot of contrarians to be a part of the conversation. See, the whole point is science isn't like this institution, that we go and, hey, you are the science, tell us what science things we need to do. Like, it's not like that, okay? Yeah. Science is a discipline. It's something that we do. Yeah. And of course, really we have to think about what a scientific process is. And of course, everybody knows this. Like, you start with the hypothesis. You have to have a good idea first. You do your hypothesis, and then you need experimentation that can potentially verify it. And the reality is, okay, sure, then you can graduate to theory, okay, and it means that you're better established. But this notion that, we really need to look at what the established science is and then just sit there, that's not the spirit of science, right? Like, the whole thing about, established science, or the science is settled in something. Like, the science is settled is something that Albert Einstein, I guarantee you Albert Einstein he's never been quoted as saying, hey, the science is really settled on this, right? Or, hey, I wonder what is the scientific establishment on this? No.
Hey, did I turn off the iron?
Right. Brian Regan. Okay. No, no, listen, the spirit of science is, Einstein is sitting over there, is like, I don't know, it's like over here. And, somebody comes up, hey, I don't know about like your theory. Like, what about this and what about this and what about this, right? I guarantee you Einstein is not going to be like, oh, shut up, you idiots. Like, oh, wait a second. Okay, what are you saying is maybe wrong? Tell me more. Tell me more. Okay. Oh, okay, you're really against this idea. Okay, please tell me more. That's the spirit of science. It's not like just everybody shut up and this is the only arena where we're going to be. Yeah. So when I say that there's this like spectrum, I mean, I get it. You can go too far and like never take a yes for a yes or a no for a no. Like, and look, the reality is that a lot of the difference here is that we need to consider what is the difference between science and like social policy or like politics.
Right. Yeah.
Action, like political action needs to be informed by science. Right. And this is actually this is a big question, Sal. Like, I mean, and it's like, I say it in the monologue, like, because we heard this so many times, like during this time, right? It's like, hey guys, this isn't politics. This should be about the science. Yeah. Actually, no. Actually, for the most part, the problems that we have,
part of it.
This is actually a political problem.
Right. Exactly.
A political problem means how we're supposed to act with information that we have, how it is that we're supposed to live, right? Look. I know, and this is a big idea in sort of our world, that, the experts need to be at the helm of everything that we do. Look, if that's really the case, dude, just give the presidency to Dr. Fauci. Give him all the power. And look, a lot of people are saying, yes, exactly. Give all the power to Dr. Fauci.
Right.
Are you kidding me? That's not the way it's supposed to be. See, like the way Aristotle thought about science and politics, is like, the whole thing about politics, I know politics has like a dirty name, but like when it's done properly, it simply means how we live. Like the word politics is polis. It just means the city. It means the things of the city, the things about how we live. That requires prudence. It requires a statesman that like knows how to put all these different arguments.
Knows how to talk to other people, knows how to say, you know what, I need to hear what the scientist has to say. I need to hear what the priest has to say. I need to hear what the normal Joe Schmo has to say.
Right. Like ideally, like who's going to manage the city? Who's going to manage the society? Well,
if you give decisions,
if you give all the power to the doctor, I mean, the doctor's going to be, no, dude, don't leave your house. Don't leave your home. Like eat an apple a day. Apparently that's what doctors say, right? Eat an apple a day. I don't know what I'm saying. But or if you give all the power, well, let's have the general. Let's have the general in charge. Well, no, if you put the general in charge, dude, he's going to be like psychopathic. It's like, okay, everybody watch out for the Taliban, okay? And it's like, everybody have your guns out. I don't know. Like, it's going to be, you go monomaniacal on the thing that you do, right? Or give all the political power to a teacher. Well, no, I mean, to us, like, that would suck. Like, everybody has homework. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, what Aristotle
it's
talks
like ongoing, like just school for the rest of your life.
It'd be awful. No, and like Aristotle talks about this in the Politics and in the Nicomachean Ethics. No, actually, it's a big job. The art of politics, he calls it the architectonic art, and it requires prudence and judgment. Right. So you need somebody who's an expert at that. It's like, hey, well, okay, let me hear from the doctor. Yeah, let me hear from Dr. Fauci. Okay, but you know what? I also need to hear from the teachers, right? I also need to hear from the general.
Yeah.
You know what? We also need to hear from the psychiatrist who's going to tell us like what's going to happen to kids if they're going to be locked up for all this period of time.
Right. Yeah.
I also need to hear from them, right?
Yeah.
This is all comprehensive, you know. Of course, it can't just be about science, or it can't just be about like a medical opinion or a medical expert,
Yeah.
right? And this is why, you know, a lot of people are going to say, "Hey, who are you guys to talk about something like this?"
Yeah.
Well, right, because the point is that it's not just about the science, y'all. It's about how we're supposed to live as a society,
Exactly.
and there are way more moving parts than just that. Now, do we need to give the scientist and the doctor like a little bit more leeway, and do we need to hear more from them when we have like a pandemic like this? Well, of course, yes, right. Yeah. But I think that we've taken it too far in some ways.
I think so. So going back to then, when we're talking about the anti-mandate people and pro-mandate people,
right?
You know, and you mentioned the thing about like, was Einstein, you know, Einstein like the way his approach probably would have been like, oh, let me hear your ideas, let me see what's going on. I think that the spirit of that is what we need in our society to not feel like alienized, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And we should be able to have a conversation with people and not be so naive and think, oh, you think differently than me? Oh my gosh, like what the heck? You know, like of course people think differently than you.
Yeah.
Now again, that's not me trying to say like, oh, we all have our different truths and we all like think different. We should just accept that, you know, and just be nice to each other. Like, no, I don't think that either. Right? I think we should always try to be seeking the truth. Yeah. But part of seeking truth is saying, hey, I know I'm not perfect. I know I can't just be closed in. There is a level of open-mindedness with the parameters of like, I'm not going off to either extreme, right? Mm-hmm. But I do need to ask other people, like, why do you see that? Like, what's your reasoning in that, right?
Right. Yeah.
To improve what to help you kind of come to this, you know, what we would hope is a collective truth on something, right?
Right. So. And like when it comes to science, like with what I said about the statesman and all this, like I'm not trying to say that oh, don't pay attention to science. You know, I know I can probably be misinterpreted that way. Yeah. No, like I said, we actually want good science, and the thing is that science thrives in a cultural atmosphere where everybody can talk freely. Yeah. And the reality is that we're not seeing that. I mean, we shouldn't turn a blind eye to it. The reality is that it's hard to have contrarian opinions and go on Facebook and YouTube, etc. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I don't even know what's going to happen to this video, Sal. I mean, my hope is that we're like super small. Obviously, we just fly under the radar. Okay, still give us a like and share, everybody. Okay, please, you know. Yes. But I don't think we're going to grow that much that, you know, they're going to come down on us like a ton of bricks. But no, I mean, to give you an example, it's obvious that big media and big social media and everybody, man, they just have a vision and they just want to ridicule anybody who has like a different opinion. Look, the reality is that there are a bunch of doctors out there who, for example, want to prescribe ivermectin. And right, great. Of course, ivermectin has not been approved by the FDA for COVID. I mean, of course that's not true, because that would require, I mean, a lot of moving steps, etc. But people are looking at this like, this is crazy. No. Like from what I understand, like pretty much like all drugs have been prescribed by doctors for some other use. You know, like with aspirin, not only like, I don't know about it, like lowers your temperature, but also it's good for blood clots, right? Yeah. And look, I mean, we have actual cases where doctors are like prescribing it because they think that for their patient it like makes sense, and it's, you know, maybe they got the vaccine even, or maybe they don't, but the point is they're sick now, and like they want something other than, oh, go sit in your home, and if you start dying then go to the emergency room. Yeah. Like they're trying to be proactive to give some kind of a treatment, right? And so they've been prescribed, and what does like CNN say? It's like, oh, look at this, they're taking horse dewormer. Yeah. And like, dude, are you kidding me? Like, ivermectin is a drug for humans that has been taken by billions of people, right? Okay, yeah, maybe a couple of people went and they grabbed the one for horses, okay? But they just like, dude, I mean, you saw that whole thing with the horse dewormer.
Yeah.
Like it was everywhere in the news. Like, oh my gosh, these crazy people are taking horse dewormer. No, idiot. Like, oh, look at that person drinking water. Oh, he's drinking nuclear power plant coolant. No, he's drinking water, okay? Which also happens to be used to cool a nuclear reactor.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you watch the Joe Rogan and Sanjay Gupta?
No, I didn't.
Dude, you need to check this out.
Okay.
Oh my God. He like just
because I know that Joe Rogan took it. Like he took like the
ivermectin and some other stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, like it's man, this is like a perfect encapsulation of like everything that the media does terribly, and Joe Rogan just pulling their pants down. Like just amazing. I'll send you a link.
Sounds good.
It's great. I want to clarify just one thing before we move on. Like the point that we're making is not like, oh, we're not trying to give advice as to like whether people should take the vaccine or not, or should wear masks or not.
Of course.
Like, no, absolutely not. That's not our point. I mean, I don't even know, Sal, if you've like taken the vaccine. Like I haven't, because I had COVID, right?
Yeah.
And the point is, like, I think that we have to pay attention to what the situation is for each individual. Yeah. But look, I'm saying, listen, I'm not saying just do what you feel. I'm saying, yeah, when it comes to something like this, like what you should do, you should have your conversation with your doctor, right? Mm-hmm. So my point is not, of course, to give medical advice. I'm just pointing out, like, what's going on with the public debate, what's going on with free speech when it comes to these issues, because we just want a good, solid foundation where proper science can thrive.
Of course, yeah. So. And I'm not, I'll be super upfront. We wanted to go on a cruise. We needed to be vaccinated. I got vaccinated. I'm not necessarily so worried on the science of what I'm putting in my body and stuff. I trust that it's not something that's going to like make my skin deteriorate, right? Like, I'm like, okay, that's fine. And so I don't go on the front lines being like, oh, like, yes, we should be anti-vax and like, don't take this stuff. Like, you don't know what it is or whatever. I'm just kind of, and again, not to be on the whole kumbaya thing. I'm like, that's not where I'm trying to be either. But I do have a problem with me, with somebody saying like, you know what, I don't know if I really want to make that decision for myself medically. But then getting a pushback from society, or from people, somebody saying like, you are horrible. You're the devil for thinking that's like this horrible. You're not, you don't care about everyone else around you. Right. Right. This is about other people around you. I'm like that. I think that's a huge problem. Like that's a big problem. And that's why I'm having this conversation with you. You know what I'm saying?
I'm glad you bring that up, because maybe we'll just say, for a little foreshadowing, in our next show, we actually want to explore the issue of freedom, personal freedom versus like duty, because actually this is another interesting thing that the whole thing with COVID has brought on. And I think one big reason is that you kind of have like a split with people, is like, well, some people are saying, well, wait a second, it's your duty to the rest of society. And other people are saying, well, wait a second, what about, personal freedom and stuff like that? So that's like another thing that we need to explore, so I wonder if people out there have some ideas about that. But we'll leave it there. We'll put a pin in it.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk more about that.
Yes. So let's get into our next thing. We're going to do our top 5, right? Classic Worldview Bros top 5. Here we go. When we've done it in the past, I've noticed that we lean towards the side of doing movies and shows and things like that. We like that. We love it. So this is the top 5 shows, right? So I think the way we'll do it then is we're going to just let's just go full at it. You give your 5, you talk about it. I give my 5. We talk a little bit about it.
Well, I think the question here is going to be like, where exactly do you have the office? Okay, where do I have it?
I mean, it's going to be.
We may as well just talk about that first.
Let's do it. I like that.
Okay.
Let's be different. I put it 1. Office is 1 for me. Where's it for you?
You're going to be surprised. I actually have the Office on number 3.
3.
Yeah. But of course, it has to be there somewhere.
No.
I know. No, I mean, when I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe that's number 1. But
okay, so give us your top 5. Let's do.
All right, so just real quick, my what is it? No, I know. My number 5 is Endeavor. And so I do like a good kind of like detective show. Honorable mention, I'll say, is Sherlock. I actually don't have Sherlock on here. I do like Endeavor a little bit more. Then number 4 is Better Call Saul. Number 3, I have The Office. Number 2 is Seinfeld, of course. And number 1, I mean, I didn't really know this out until I did like a deep dive into my soul and really thought about it. Okay. And I was like, oh yeah, no. Like this makes me so happy. Like I think this is my number 1 show.
The truth is too important to give up on.
Right. The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Wow. Dick Van Dyke Show. Man.
I know.
I haven't even seen a single episode of that.
Well, this is like an oldie, right? So like in the 60s. And well, let me say something a little bit about the Dick Van Dyke Show. It probably wasn't the very first like sitcom, but I think like many, and I think I've heard Seinfeld or some other comedian like talk about this, and you know I think that's right. It really does found or start like the sitcom as we know it, and it's just hilarious. I mean. I get it. It's like in the 60s. Like if you watch an episode, it's going to feel kind of dated at first. And then suddenly it's going to not feel that dated. And you're going to be, oh my gosh, this is actually really funny. And like a big part of it is that Dick Van Dyke, I mean, that's the name of the guy, Dick Van Dyke.
I know who Dick Van Dyke is.
Oh, okay.
Mary Poppins.
He's hilarious, dude. He's just like the physical comedy that he brings.
Yeah.
And like just the jokes. And like one of the funniest things about the show is actually when he's at work, and he's actually a writer for a comedy show in the show. So it's all like very meta, even in the 60s. My gosh. It's really cool. But and they're hilarious, like his coworkers, like just the jokes that they make, and dude, and it is like very wholesome, like lighthearted, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Dude, you need to check it out.
I know that
it is really good.
And I will. I know that there's like a historical like significance to the Dick Van Dyke Show. I hear people like mention it all the time, right? And I guess for me, I don't know why like this is stupid, but like you know those all the shows that are like named after like the main person, like the Drew Carey Show or the Dick Van Dyke Show. And I'm always kind of like, oh really? Like that's not very.
Yeah, that's how they did it in the past.
I guess so. Yeah,
we just kind of changed what that
evolved a little bit, you know, with that. Okay, all right. Anything else? Okay, what else you wanted to? Did you have honorable mentions?
Well, yes.
Or did you want to hit on others of your top 5?
Well, I'll just say a little bit. I mean, Endeavor is kind of self-explanatory, but I guess what I wanted to say about Better Call Saul is, I mean, notice I said Better Call Saul. I didn't say Breaking Bad. I didn't say The Sopranos. And that's kind of like in that category. It's like a deep dive into the soul of a tortured kind of anti-hero, you know?
You're having a little problem saying deep dive. Oh, I'm hearing deep dive.
Okay, well, I don't know. I need to put marbles in my mouth and practice enunciating. Deep dive. Okay. Dude, I love this character in Better Call Saul. Odenkirk, right?
Yes.
Something. What's his first name?
Kirk
Odenkirk.
No, that's Odenkirk. What?
You thought his first name was Odin?
No. No. I knew it was Odenkirk, but I don't know why Kirk came to mind. Like the end of the name.
I don't know his name, but
Odenkirk.
But I love this guy, Sal. He's a great actor, but what I really love about the show is like the themes in this show. You have like a prodigal son going on, like the story that happens like between the two brothers. Dude, there's a lot there. Yeah. There's a lot of richness, and
I've seen up to what I guess 4 or season 3, and I haven't like gone on. That's why it's in my honorable mention. Like
I love this show.
No, I've enjoyed it. I'm sure it probably would be a lot higher for me, maybe even be in the top 5 if I was like caught up. I don't know, like I like it, but like,
I don't want to badmouth Breaking Bad. I mean, I like Breaking Bad. There's a lot of good things that I can say about it, but ultimately there's stuff that I don't like about it either. I don't resonate so much with the character Dr. White. He feels not quite real to me in some ways, which is weird because what people love about it is like, oh, he's like just
he's a normal dude that then started cooking meth.
A lot of the decisions just don't make sense. Anyway, we can
I didn't
talk
drink
about
the
that some other
Kool-Aid,
time.
and I think
Yeah.
part of it is I just, speaking of being contrarian, right? Like I just,
Right.
like I think part of me was like, I don't want to get into it, I don't know,
Right.
but whatever.
Okay, so there's that. Well, I mean, The Office. So maybe we'll talk about The Office in a second. Seinfeld. I mean, dude. I mean, Seinfeld. It's not just a nostalgia thing for me. Like, it's just pretty funny. Not pretty funny. It's not okay. Sorry. Let me gather my thoughts. Like, I'll laugh out loud, like hysterically, with The Office. Not so much with Seinfeld. I'll kind of chuckle inside a lot with Seinfeld, but it just kind of tickles me in a different place, you know.
I questioned it being just like a nostalgic pick for you, but it's not.
No.
Okay.
No. Larry David. I mean, the writer for this. It's brilliant.
You know, it's on Netflix. Netflix just added it.
Oh, well, I actually got the DVDs for my birthday.
Oh,
So,
nice. Yes. I mean, that's something you want to have. Like,
Yeah.
I want The Office. Like, I want that.
No,
in
I
my
mean, for the
collection.
longest time, I was like, oh my gosh, is it on Netflix now? Okay, no, let me go check it out on Hulu or whatever.
Right.
But
okay, I'm gonna watch through because I haven't watched Seinfeld all the way
dude,
through,
let's
man.
get together, get some
that'd be
popcorn.
great. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I do want to mention as an honorable mention,
Yes.
Counterpart. Guys, I want you to check out Counterpart. It's an amazing. This show was canceled after season 2. Like they didn't clarify anything. Like it was just they just dumped it after 2 seasons and just left you holding the bag.
Okay.
And if this had continued, this could easily be my number 1 show. It is an amazing show. Yeah. It has J.K. Simmons, like from Whiplash.
Yes.
He's great.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And the premise of the show is amazing. It's like after World War II, like at the beginning of the Cold War.
Yeah.
And there's like a science experiment that goes wrong, and it like opens up a wormhole or something. Okay, I know that sounds silly, but what it does is that it creates like a new reality. So you have 2 parallel realities of planet Earth.
Oh, so you have like 2 like the same people, like you get like another view.
Yeah, a counterpart. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
The name of the
No.
show,
I'm just saying, like,
yeah.
And what's amazing about it is like before that happens.
Yeah.
How do I explain it? So like if you take 2 of those people, because sometimes they interact and they talk to each other. I mean, I'm not going to explain the whole plot and everything.
Yeah. Right.
But they actually share the same memories. It's like they share exactly the same life prior to the wormhole opening up.
Wow.
So it's almost like they were the same person before, and then the wormhole occurs, and now you have these 2 different realities, and now they're like, I mean, I guess
it's almost like the show is too brainy that they are like, oh gosh, we're like the wheels, like what do we do?
dude, I actually I read an article about that they're pretty much kind of reading between the lines. Is like this show was like too brainy or something. Like we weren't getting enough of an audience.
But no, I mean even like to continue.
Well,
like,
that's
you're
what
like,
I'm saying.
What did we do?
That's
I don't
why
know
that's why they just dumped it, because they didn't get enough people watching.
No. But what I'm saying is that like if they like took on too much and they're like, oh,
where do we go from
we
here?
don't know how this works anymore.
Right.
We loved the beginning pitch, right? But where do we go from there?
This probably doesn't sound so extraordinary, like after, of course, the Avengers and how you have a multiverse
it's great.
there.
I mean,
but
they're going into this whole
the development of this
thing,
in this show is fantastic.
I'll have to check it out.
Anyway, even though going in that they're not going to resolve anything, I recommend everybody to watch this.
Right, for sure.
So.
Yeah. Okay, well, are you done? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll go through the 5. I'll go quick and then hit them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I cheated already right off the bat just because this was hard for me to come up with 5. It was the first 3 are easy ish. I mean, even then, the number 1 was easy, and then after that was like, oh, what do I do?
Sure.
So 5 for me, The Chosen, tied with Sherlock.
Okay.
I'll go back and hit why I did that. Sure. Right. 4 being Parks and Recreation, a comedy. New Girl is 3, another comedy. I like the comedies a lot.
I'm surprised I have 3 comedies in my top 3. Because
it's just, I mean, I think that's where comedy really lives.
Yeah.
Comedy,
after a long day
comedy
of work,
films,
right? Yeah.
Comedy films don't come, to me, in my opinion, are nowhere near
where they are for a TV show.
Yeah. That's where comedy lives, man.
Yeah.
Like basic, I mean, you know, comedy films have just turned into whether it's like either like super slapstick or like super raunchy. And I'm like, no, like you get like a genius like Steve Carell, who in the acting community is like one of the GOATs, one of the all-time greats in improv, man. Yeah. And you let him just run amok and go wild and do what he wants with this character. I mean, it's one of the best things I've ever seen, dude. Like I mean, and not to mention this Rainn Wilson as Dwight and Jim and all the characters, all the main characters are just incredible in that show. Dude. And we'll get to that. So sorry. So New Girl at 3, Lie to Me at 2. I'll talk about that in a second. And then number 1, Office. So let me go backwards. Let me go back to let's talk Office. Let's talk Office.
Yeah. It's freaking miraculous what they did with that.
Dude, it's incredible. Like
that's too strong a word.
No. Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's what made it different.
Yeah.
Is that this show was so different. Like no one was doing the documentary style.
Sure, yeah,
here,
it's like
right.
Okay.
Even with the British version, that was different. That was kind of up and coming in British comedy TV. And then when they brought it here, the only way, and you know, because the ratings for season 1 were horrible, man. They were bad, the worst of all time in NBC.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if they still hold that, but I think they do.
Wow,
it was horrible.
Because I was sold after the first episode.
There were things that had to happen. That things that like that had to happen for it to continue, obviously. But like I mean, like important things, like little details, like somebody in NBC really loved them. This guy,
right?
You know, the main guy, Kevin something, loved them. Right. And he really fought for it. Oh. Now, the other thing was a genius of the showrunner, Greg Daniels, who's also the showrunner for Parks and Rec, and why I ultimately chose Parks and Rec in here, because it comes from the same genius minds of The Office. So it had to be in my top 5 because I love the show too.
Okay.
Now, I remember him saying with The Office, he said, you know, and this is I heard him in a podcast talking about it, was that the reason why the pilot is just like the British pilot. It's almost the exact. they use the same script.
Yeah, I remember.
Was to pay homage to it, right?
Yeah,
homage to it, but it was also to not gain any like to not have the network have any power as to what the show was going to be.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So Greg Daniels wanted the spirit of the show to be what it was, what the British was. And in order to get his ideas, his revolutionary ideas into this show, he was like, you know what? The pilot has to be just like this. So they can't touch it. They can't tell me what to do because there's already a script and this is what it's going to be like.
Right.
So that kind of ultimately shaped what the show was going to be, with the one style, like, camera shot, with all those things, like as far as just decisions go, because it wasn't like he was creating a whole new pilot on his own and then having to deal with, you know, the network ups being like, oh no, you should do it this way, you should do it that way, right? You know what I'm saying?
I think I do.
It was already an established show.
Yeah, but then the second episode.
Well, you can't go completely different, right? So you've already, the pilot sets what it's going to be, and then you go off, right? And then they did Diversity Day, which is one of the most popular shows.
Dude, I was sold on episode 1, but then episode 2 like blew my mind. I think it's my favorite one.
Dude, like, it's held up as one like one of the best, right? Yeah, and it's so funny how in this new like PC kind of like world, like
it's like didn't they take it out of like in the new streaming? That's insane.
It's really insane.
That's insane.
But you know, but true followers still really love it, and now and even the actors like they're like it's great, you know. Dude, Sorry, I'm like geeking out on The Office because it's just like, it's not the fact that, oh, I just like this. No. Yeah. They say it. They know it. Everyone knows how incredible it really was.
Sure. I mean, everybody like during the lockdowns, just pretty much just everybody watching The Office.
It's the most streamed show ever.
Yeah.
Billions of views. You know, it's insane.
That's crazy.
So, and I know I've taken so much time now, but like, did you want to add any? Okay, I'll go back
about some of the others.
So, Lie to Me, Only 3 seasons. Incredible, though. I had to put it on because it could have easily been my number one show ever. It's like the kind of like the like Law and Order style, like solving the crime kind of thing, crime show. But basically this guy, he's not a detective or anything, but he's like, he services himself to the FBI and police departments and stuff.
Kind of like Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, and exactly. I loved that idea so much because I like to read people. Like I like that. I like, I love the mind games and stuff that I looked for like if this was like something you could study in university.
I mean, I'm guessing people who play poker are good at it. I mean,
yeah,
for
exactly.
real, right? I mean, because I've always wondered, like when I play poker, like I'm not trying to read people's faces.
No, man. Yeah.
I'm really just playing probabilities and just kind of being, just playing my game. But yeah, I mean, obviously some people definitely are reading the other players.
Exactly. So. And Tim Roth is the main guy, main actor. He's British, dude. It's the kind of like he's like the hey love kind of like British guy. It's like it's just incredible. It's awesome, and I hate that it's only 3 seasons. So my number 3 is New Girl. Great show. I mean, the best thing about this show is there's just so many different characters in it, and all the way from the like 30-year-old like get off my lawn kind of guy, and
I haven't seen this one.
It's a good one. It's one that's a little bit more on like you get some of the racy kind of sexual things at times, right? Which isn't always the best part of the show, but it's just all the different like clashing characters in it. It's really funny. It's worth taking a little look at, but it's for me, like I couldn't leave it off because, Nicole and I, like, it's a show that we watched together and we watched all the way through together, and it's just really good. So, my number 4, Parks and Rec. I can't say enough. It's like, it took me a couple years to like finally like get into it, but because I felt like it was like I was cheating on The Office or something to watching this.
Well, for me, it was hard to get into it because I feel it was like so similar to The Office, and
dude, it's worth it, man. Because like ultimately, the way I came to it was like this was able to happen and be birthed because of The Office, and it's the same showrunner, the same creator, right? So it's just another universe of that idea, right? Yeah. There's a lot of like significant differences in it. Right. But it's, I mean, like you like Chris Pratt, right? And he's just incredible in that show, man. It's worth it. It's incredible. It's really good. I think after like, half of the first season, I think you can get sold in it.
Right.
So it's worth it.
A lot of people love it became very memeable, I guess. What's his name, Swanson or
Ron Swanson? Oh, dude, you would love Ron Swanson.
No, I mean, I've seen a few episodes.
Okay, you have. Okay,
and he's funny.
He's just like that dude. Like, it just gets better. Honestly, it's.
I hate that so many people like copy that character now. Like,
I know.
It was like in a Progressive commercial or something.
Yeah,
I forget if it was Progressive or something. It's like, dude, you're obviously just copying the Swanson character. Like,
right.
What are you doing?
And he's that actor. I mean, what's his name? Nick something.
I don't know.
I forget his name. Yeah. But really great. Really great.
I might give it another shot.
You should.
Sometime.
You should. Okay.
Number 5?
Number 5. So I kind of cheated, like I said, and it was The Chosen and Sherlock. The Chosen... I mean, like, it's just absolutely incredible, man. It's not number 1, basically, because in the spirit of like when I'm watching this and seeking entertainment in shows, it's not necessarily like my spiritual outlet, right?
Yeah,
I get that other places, right? But this was so good. It's worth, like, I had to be in there. It's incredible. Like, I have to say this one thing about it. There's an episode that is arguably, I feel pretty confidently saying it is the best or one of the best like television shows or episodes I've ever
seen.
Dude, Steve Dace said this. Steve Dace said the same thing. Steve Dace was like, this is one of the best things I've ever seen ever.
Right, as a scene.
As basically. A scene.
I get it. Yeah. Okay.
One of the best scenes ever on TV.
Okay.
And it's this mixture of the music, the soundtrack, the music. It's Jesus and Nicodemus. It's the encounter with Jesus and Nicodemus.
Okay. Yes.
Right, and they meet in secret at night, and they're on a rooftop, and there's just this vision of this. There's this picture of the stars, right? And Jesus, like literally, like just laying out, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing, and letting Nicodemus in a way put the thing like connect the dots.
Oh, okay.
Where all of a sudden Nicodemus is like, I'm in the presence of the Lord.
Right. And so you're saying like the scene builds to this.
It builds to that,
right.
man. And like the character of Jesus, like the guy who plays Jesus, I mean, like I have no doubt that God has a hand in how this story is being told, and that he is like a big driving force of the way he talks, the way he looks, the way he emphasizes the scripture, because it is scripture based, right?
Yeah.
They have a little bit of freedom when it comes to background things, and it's a little bit more like relatable, because they kind of, you know, change the way they talk to each other. You know, it's a little bit more relatable in that sense, but not where it's distracting.
Okay.
But this scene, man, is incredible, and I had to add it to my top 5.
Okay.
Because
I'm glad we had this start. No, I'm pumped to watch this. Okay.
And of course, it was tied with Sherlock because I love the character, and Benedict Cumberbatch, I think, has played it best. Sorry, Robert Downey Jr., but he's played it best.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Okay,
and then, of course, you know, what's his name? Martin, whatever, something Martin. Morgan.
Oh,
Morgan.
Morgan. Yeah.
What is it? Freeman. Martin. Morgan Freeman.
Freeman.
It's Martin, isn't it?
Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman.
Right. Okay.
Great actor. You know, the British dudes are great. So.
He's great, I guess. I feel
he played a good Bilbo.
No, I know, but it
wasn't his fault.
It annoys me a little bit that he does kind of play the same kind of slightly confused, like uptight, like British guy.
Yeah.
So I think he needs
He's a little bit one-dimensional.
Yes.
Yeah.
It works. It's good. You know, it's good acting. But anyway, I don't mean to dump on
it. Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm just going to list my honorable mentions. I know I'm going super long.
Oh, no, you're good.
But I mentioned having Better Call Saul in there, but I also put Daredevil from the Netflix series Daredevil. So good. Got canceled. Schitt's Creek is another comedy. Impractical Jokers. So good. That's reality
you tell me
TV.
A lot about it,
But dude, it's hilarious. Oh man, like the things that they do. The Last Kingdom. That's like a medieval kind of
fantasy
Vikings kind of thing.
Okay.
Time of Wessex and all that.
Okay, like semi-historical kind of deal.
Yeah, semi-historical.
Okay.
Like
right.
Yeah. Everybody Loves Raymond. I mean, like I struggled not having it in the top 5 because I think it's hilarious, but it's like on the fringe.
Yeah.
Stranger Things, and then Grimm.
Grimm
is so good.
Okay, yeah, Dora and I watched that.
It's the perfect marriage of like the criminal, you know, like Law and Order style thing, like, you know.
If you explain the premise of the show to me, it'd be like,
no. But it's so cool.
It is
like the idea of like seeing them, but other people can't. Like it's cool.
They ruin it in the last couple of seasons, in my opinion. But
with the wife.
Yeah, but it's still worth it. It's still worth it.
Juliet. Yeah, it was clear that they were kind of like, what do we do from here? Like, we messed up.
Dude, I really don't, and we don't need to get into it.
Yeah.
But they really messed up her character. But,
yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah. Well, that's the top 5. I loved your top 5. You know, I'll check out Dick Van Dyke. So I check out Dick Van Dyke. And you should check out these. You need to watch The Chosen.
Well, The Chosen, it goes without
saying. That's the big. Lie to Me, I think you should check out Lie to Me too.
Yeah, okay.
It's really good.
Yeah,
it's worth a watch. Cool. And knowing that it gets canceled, I think is better, so that you're not like, oh yes, like I was, and then all of a sudden, oh, this was canceled in 2011.
Oh, okay.
Gosh.
Yeah. No, good recos. Thanks, Al.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on.
Yes.
Next thing, our second segment, which is Hate Like.
Yes.
So things we hate, things we like. What you got today? You have.
I'm doing something I like.
Something we like. Okay.
And I actually kind of let it out of the bag a little bit because I was going to say, check out just this clip of Joe Rogan just pantsing.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there. Yeah, a little.
I know, but actually, I'll say something else. I've been watching videos. what's his name? Russell Brand. I've been watching these Russell Brand
Oh,
videos.
yeah, dude. People hate Russell Brand.
They hate him
Yeah, a lot of people hate this
because
guy
of these videos that he's making.
Oh, go ahead. You go.
Oh,
Go.
well, dude, I mean, like the very show that we did today, like just encouraging the fostering of a good environment where good conversations can take place. Dude, you can pretty much just ignore our video and like watch his video.
That's what I'm saying. People hate him because he's dude, like he is resurfaced because of this. And he is there. Like people are trying to bury this guy.
Dude, I love this guy.
The way they have turned on him, and it's the whole he's insane. Dude, it's the whole he's insane thing. Like they did to Kanye.
Oh, I get
so
it.
many people now that have kind of gotten a taste of like, like, hey, like going against this mainstream like or this like
absolutely.
ideology of like,
right.
And so that this is happening to Russell Brand, man.
Well, let me make it specific. I mean, you can watch all his videos, but like one I watched really resonated to me, like COVID apartheid or something like that.
Okay.
Where he kind of takes to task some of these anchors on CNN and other places that are just belittling people for having certain stances and stuff like that. The whole thing about the horse dewormer and everything else. But listen, I know that there's this temptation. There's like, oh, he's like a famous actor. So that's why I like him, because he's saying things that I like, but he's a famous actor. Yeah. Dude, like I never like watched any movies with him. Like honestly, I get it that
even that huge.
I get it that I could be susceptible to that kind. I don't even know what that is psychologically. Okay, but no, actually, I just hit the way that he clarifies ideas and like the open-mindedness that he has and the genuine care that he has for people, right? Like you can tell that there's a genuine love of humanity that he's like he's the genuine humanitarian.
No, totally.
And dude, freaking smart. I mean,
really
that's what I'm saying. Like
and
just watch his videos.
Never mind. Like, and here's the thing. Like, I don't even like. I know that we all are like from things I've watched of him. Like, I know that I don't really agree with him like spiritually in a lot of different things. Oh, dude,
a lot of things even politically. Like this guy, he's like pseudo communistic or something. Like obviously a man. I think he wouldn't. Cringe like if we say that he's kind of like a man of the left a little bit, and I'm more of a right winger,
Yeah.
But dude, I love this guy as a left winger. Why? Because he wants open conversations and he has a love for people, right? And he's not gonna treat you like a non-human being if you differ on something.
Right. Yeah.
So he meets you at the same level.
For sure.
I love that.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
And I don't want to go too long, but like people should check him out. Like especially this video, I think it's called COVID Apartheid.
Okay.
And excellent. So
nice. You ready for mine?
Yes, sir.
Things I hate.
Yeah.
Dude, like mine's doesn't go as deep, right? Sorry.
Okay.
But I like collectibles. I like to collect things. I collected basketball cards. Yeah,
I remember.
Right, I collected all sorts of cards. You collected different cards, Magic, right? We both collected Duel Masters, right? I like to collect. I collected Lord of the Rings action figures. We got one over here, right?
What are you trying to do to us, Sal?
You're
exposing us as these
collectibles
nerds.
Are great, right?
Okay,
I know exactly, right? Whatever you collect, it's fine. I like to collect things. I like to collect Maverick stuff. I've already, I named all the other ones. I know I'm being a dead horse here. Collecting is great, so I have nothing against that.
Sure.
But if you tell me that this is a fun thing to collect, if you think this is a fun thing to collect, you're crazy.
The
Funko, these are the Funko Pops.
Funko Pop.
You've seen them. You've seen the classic picture.
I guess I've seen
people having them in their I don't know, their nerd room, and they have all the different characters. Wow. So for instance, there's Funko Pop for everyone. For like Yoda has a Funko Pop. The Walking Dead characters have a Funko Pop. The Star Wars characters have a Funko Pop. The NBA stars have a Funko Pop. I don't understand the fascination of having one of these.
I guess I have a couple of these, Sal. I think I've been gifted a few of these Star Wars ones.
I think so. I think you have too. And I think they're the weirdest thing. Why do you want to collect these? Like, whose face is that? What kind of... I guess I just don't know what this is.
So we're trying to bring people together in a spirit of brotherhood.
But I don't understand this. There's a John Wick one. Like, why do I want John Wick as a little weird mannequin looking thing? I don't understand this. I don't get the fascination.
This really touches you somewhere, Sal. Wow.
I'm sorry. Like I kind of, like I was saying to you before we got started today, was I think I get too excited about the hate. I don't know why. But like, I just like to complain sometimes.
Well,
or all the time.
Hey, you can take it whenever you want.
But Funko Pops, man, I want to know. Somebody comment after you have liked and viewed our video. Somebody comment and tell me why, or email us. I don't know, whatever. Tell me why Funko Pops are a thing.
This was so not on my radar. I don't think I've ever heard the words Funko Pop.
Pop.
I was just like, oh, some bobbleheads.
Well, I didn't even know what they were called. I just had seen them all the time, and I was like, what the heck is this? I just Googled collectible toy, and that's the first thing that came up. Because they're all over the place.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is this? This is absurd. This is dumb. It's a little creepy for me. If I want to get a little too far.
I mean, if I had a room full of them, I guess it would be a little creepy.
And that's the part.
That's exactly
that
what people
picture I showed you of all of them on the wall. People don't take them out of the box. It's one of those things. I get that whole thing. Like,
it's like the Beanie Baby craze. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Or like owning a hat and not taking the stickers off or the stuff off it, which is a Key and Peele. Remember I sent you the Key and Peele?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So like there's the Key and Peele video where they're like competing on like the hats.
Yeah.
And like they go all the way from like, oh, he still has the sticker on it to oh, he wears it with it in the bag still and stuff.
Right. Yeah, with like the ink things or whatever, like the button.
Right, yeah. But so I understand that, but I don't know. Enough about the Funko Pops, I guess, but I just don't get it. I don't get it. I have a list of hates. I didn't know where to go, but like this one like is one that's been like stirring for a while. So
well, I'm glad you got it out of your system, Sal.
Yeah, man. Well, it was great talking. I think
that's a wrap, huh? We'll pick it up on the next show.
All right, awesome.
All right,
sounds good, man.
I'll see you next time.
Have a great one. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Hello, my fellow human beings, and thanks for listening to this week's episode of the Worldview Bros. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. If you want to ask us a question, want some clarification on something we said, or even have a topic suggestion, then email us at theworldviewbros@gmail.com. If you don't have time to watch our beautiful faces on video, then you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again for tuning in, and remember, truth is too precious to give up on.